Hi guys, Ryan here. This is my third YouTube video. I'm really enjoying them. And this one is about why I drank alcohol, why I quit it, and how on St. Patrick's Day 2026, which was 2 days ago, I am now 3 years sober. I haven't had a drink with alcohol in it in 3 years. When I had my first drink of alcohol, there was always an issue. Stripping naked, being unfaithful, lying, getting into fights, pure chaos. That wasn't normal. But the strange thing is, I wasn't drinking every weekend. I was drinking every day. I wasn't in the Monday club, the Thursday, the Friday feeling, or even the Super Sunday. It was occasional drinking, but regularly there was mayhem. The reason I drank the first time was because of the people I was around. It wasn't their fault, by the way, but they drank and their families drank, and there's nothing wrong with that. In my house there was never drink. My father is a golden pioneer, and my mother doesn't even drink. Now, I was around alcohol growing up. My grandfather owned a bar, and my parents ran the pub. But it was never an issue for me back then. As I got older and moved schools from primary school in Arbo, that's where I live here, to secondary school in Cookstown, just a town just 15 minutes in the road, I got into the company of people who were used to alcohol. And naturally, I wanted to fit in. But I didn't like the taste of beer. I didn't like the taste of vodka. I didn't like the taste of whiskey. I didn't like the taste of brandy. I didn't like none of it. So I found something that tasted like a soft drink. Peach schnapps and orange. That was my first ever drink. And it gave me confidence. Obviously a false confidence. Now today, I'm a very real confident person. But back then I wasn't. I was always looking approval, acceptance. How I looked, how I played football, what I wore, my clothes, my trainers or gutties as we call them here, my hair, everything. I needed approval for everything when I was younger. Today I don't. I accept who I am. Looking back, my real issue with alcohol started with rejection. I crushed my right foot in a road traffic accident with alcohol in my system. I was down with a specialist yesterday, needing more surgery. And just like that, I was told at 19 years old, my promising career as a GAA footballer was over. I was told I mightn't even ever run again, never mind walk. I had to get full reconstruction on my right foot, and as I said, even now I'm going in again for more work, but that's another story for YouTube. We will be documenting that. The rejection hit hard. No more football. So what did I do? I went for a painkiller. Not the type of painkiller for my foot, the painkiller for my mind. I started drinking more. I remember sitting in a bar with a pool of blood literally dripping out of the bottom of my foot after major reconstruction surgery. I shouldn't have been drinking, but I was. That's when it really started, when I look back over 20 years ago. As I mentioned in a previous video on here, I ended up in prison. After I got back on my feet, I got into a fight. Again, alcohol involved, and someone lost their lives. God rest them. At that point, alcohol wasn't serving me anymore. It was total self-sabotage. It was destruction. Between that incident, accident, and going to prison, I was on bail conditions. No alcohol, no mixing in licensed premises, not even restaurants. And when I look back now, my life actually started to come back together during that. But I looked back on as a horrible time. But then I went to prison. I spent 2.5 years on bail conditions, no alcohol. I spent 2 years in prison. So in total, it was 4.5 years without alcohol. In prison, I didn't drink, and I'd never seen drugs in my life, never mind take drugs, didn't even know what they looked like or who was taking them. But when I got out, the very first night on parole, I went to a concert called Planet Love in Antrim. I loved dance music in my late teens and early 20s. I used to go to the arena. Every night there was a big DJ. I would have went. On that night, at that concert, someone gave me an ecstasy tablet when I was just out of prison. And I had alcohol in me. And I took it. Because again, I was after a painkiller. Not a physical, but a mental painkiller. That took me on a journey of about 10 to 11 months of drinking again. Mainly weekends. And using drugs occasionally. And I hate that word occasionally when it comes to drugs. People think it's okay. It's not. Never take drugs. Then it became more frequent. Then it was nearly every weekend. Even Sunday nights. Getting home at 6 a.m. and having to be in work for 8 a.m. I was basically stealing from my employer, my father. Coming in like that. Hung over and high. After that, I was introduced to cocaine. Again, wrong environment. But I don't blame the people. I take full responsibility for my choices. It was the people, places and things that I chose. I did not have a disease. I had a choice issue. The cycle went on from around late 2008 all the way to 2022, where cocaine was involved. In that time, I built businesses. How I did it, I don't know, but I managed it. But I know one thing for sure. I never reached my full potential. And this is why I'm on here with these videos and why I'm on social media, because I want you to not make the mistakes I made. In January 2022, I decided to quit drinking alcohol. But I made a mistake. I didn't do it for me. I did it for other people. I was trying to erase their pain, not my own. And that was a massive mistake I made. After being sober from January 2022 to July 2022, a few things happened in my life. I took his rejection. Someone close to me moved to another country. I then tore the ACL in my right knee. And someone in an AA meeting said, if I could control alcohol, I would drink again. because I loved alcohol. And those were the three excuses that my mind needed. There was rejection again twice. Someone left and I tore my ACL. GA was gone. And I had just turned 40. And my goal was to play for my club, my GA club at senior level in my 40s. I'd played in my teens, my 20s, my 30s, and a real close friend of mine, Gavin Whaley, asked me, Pin, do you think you could play in your 40s? Then I tore my ACL. That was me out the rest of the year. To be fair, I got back very quickly. I think I was back on the pitch within a year. But mentally, I didn't. From August through to March 2023, I went into full self-sabotage again, slowly. And now, exactly 3 years later, I am sober and clean. I haven't had a drink with alcohol in it. I haven't taken a drug of any kind. And don't get me wrong, that period of 2022, from January to July, a lot of things happened in that sober period. A lot of very life-changing things for me that have even changed my life to today. So what did I learn? When I decided to quit again, I went back to AA. And the reason I went back was because I got 3 signs, all within a few days. It's like the 3-boat analogy, if you look it up. A friend of mine quit drinking because he felt suicidal. He also is sober 3 years. The weekend passed. Ryan Coleman. Well done. The next day, someone asked me to take someone back to AA. And I said, I don't have a drink problem. But my friend was going, so you can go along with him. And then the third day, someone messaged me online. It was actually a cousin of mine who's actually sober to this day as well. And he said, I seen you in your stories the weekend. That was St. Paddy's weekend, 2023. You need to go back to the rooms. I can see it in your eyes. And what did he say next? I've been sober 86 days, I think he said. And I'm sorry for winding you up online when you were posting that you were recovering. Those were the 3 signs, so I went back. And ever since, I've recovered loudly, so people don't die silently. I spent almost another year in AA, and it got me sober again, but it wasn't going to keep me sober. I was still getting those pain-killing mind feelings. That's when I moved into personal development and self-development. I hired a mentor, and that's what I do now for others. And that gave me the background I needed. I realized something massive. I didn't have a drink problem. I didn't have a drug problem. I had pain. Mental pain that I wasn't dealing with. And I was using the alcohol and the drugs as a soother, not an addiction, a comforter. And how did I deal with it? I just said it there now. I went for the painkiller. That painkiller, and I'll say it again, was alcohol that led to drugs. It would soothe the pain for a few hours. But the next morning, the pain was still there, multiplied by 10. So I went back, they call it the cure. I went back for the painkiller. Then came the drugs, then came the chaos that was killing my family and proper friends. Once I understood that alcohol wasn't the problem, it was the soother. everything changed. The real problem was within me. And the real solution wasn't alcohol. It was personal development. It was my habits. It was changing my habits, changing the people I was around, changing the places I was in, changing the things I was doing. And replacing them. And once I changed those and replaced them with positive habits, positive people, places and things, I found freedom, real freedom. And I got it quicker than I ever expected. So people ask me now, are you an alcoholic? And I say no. People say once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. This is what you're led to believe. I don't believe that. That thinking or that method came from over 100 years ago. That might have been understanding back then, but things evolve. They evolve. There was no YouTube back then. There was no social media back then. There was no, ChatGPT. And that's why things change. So you have to be open to change. If you don't open yourself to change, you're going to be led to believe you have a disease. The way I see it now is, if I walked into a pub and started drinking again, it would feel like walking into a hospital, a place full of pain. There's a small percentage of people that are in there socializing. The rest of them are killing pain. You wouldn't choose to sit in a hospital all day, so why would you choose to sit in a pub all day? When I look at people in bars now, sitting there all week, sleeping on the counter, sleeping on the seats, running out of the toilets, taking drugs, I don't judge them. I just see people taking a painkiller, a mental painkiller, because I've been there. Because there's something deeper inside them they're not dealing with. And that can lead to anything. Drugs, gambling, overeating, avoidance, laziness, depression, anxiety. The list is endless. Once I understood that, I found a new version of myself. And all the new me cost me was the old me. Oh, this is a long one here now. We're nearly 18 minutes in, but we're nearly there. Today I am 3 years clean. No alcohol. No drugs. I'm in the best physical shape of my life. I'm in the best mental shape, spiritual shape, and financially things are getting even better. And my life is completely different. If this resonates with you, click the link in my description. Let's jump on a call to see if we are fit to help you build a life you deserve for yourself and for the people around you. Love getting this out of me, guys. I just love it. But remember this. Remember this. Don't do what I did. Don't try numb the pain for other people. Do it for yourself. And when you do that, then everyone else benefits. It's an amazing feeling. So guys, thank you for watching. Click the link in my description and book a free call. Not to be sold, not to be pressured, but just for a real chat. Keeper LS.